His sixth game for the Melbourne Victory. And he played a couple of games for Brisbane back in early 2019 before switching clubs. His dad also played in the NSL. The son of Michael. So the Melbourne Victory through Andrew Naboot and Lee Broxham get the ball rolling this evening as we check in with our expert commentator tonight, Mark Bosnich.
Good evening, Brenton. Good evening to all our viewers watching at home or wherever you may be around the world. Yeah, very important game once again. Everyone is really when they're coming so thick and fast for a variety of reasons. You mentioned about Brisbane Roar, obviously trying to secure their place pretty much if they win tonight in that top six and maybe go even higher. But also for Melbourne Victory. I thought they played a lot better than a lot of plaudits, well, a lot of people gave them credit for the other night. And some of these young players, Burke and Kerdar, you mentioned Laurie Latanzio, Jay Barnett, really looking forward to them tonight.
Brisbane on the front foot early on. Jack Hingett, the right wing back, around the corner to Wenzel Halls. He couldn't quite link up with O'Shea on the edge of the area. Marco Rojas a long way from home, if you like, helping out his defensive unit. Here is Kerdar. And not quite kept in by Laurie Latanzio. Brisbane with the three centre backs, including the lefty, Macaulay Gillespie. No way past Lee Broxham. He brings up game number 312 in the A-League. Here is Kim. He'll lay off to the milestone man, Corey Brown, his 100th appearance in the A-League for the Brisbane Roar. Of course, he was a Melbourne Victory player earlier this season. Now Naboot, runners in motion, including Burke and Kerdar. This wouldn't sit for him, and Neville able to clear. Traore keeps it alive for Barnett. Beautiful playing surface. Hard to believe we're the only ones able to watch it live here tonight at the stadium, Mark Bosnich.
Yeah, but you're right about the surface. Fantastic. And considering that they're obviously playing rugby league on it at the same time, it really is a tribute to the groundsman.
Barnett can open up the pitch. Nice ball out in front of Storm Roo. Plenty of options inside the area too. Rojas. Kerdar, lively start. Barnett. Laurie Latanzio opening up the angle. He shot from here the other day and nearly fired it in the bottom corner. That time he didn't get hold of it.
Very good play from Melbourne Victory. It's a good start from them. I was thinking about tonight in terms of the way the game would pan out. We know that Brisbane Roar like to keep their possession, and Melbourne Victory, in all fairness, are set up with three wonderful, fast players up front to play on the counter. But do you really want to have to play on the counter for a full 90 minutes? No. You know, and they're exactly like that. And I think Barnett already has made his intentions clear in terms of playing alongside Lee Broxham. I think that was one thing that was maybe a wee bit disappointing the other night with Basho and Broxham, that they weren't really going on the front foot. But you can tell already with Barnett, he's on the front foot and he's got a lot of energy.
Storm Roo played game number 150 the other night. Rojas popping up everywhere. Storm Roo overlapping. Laurie Latanzio about the only target inside the box and dealt with pretty comfortably by Brisbane. Kim back to Gillespie. Charged down by Burke and Kerdar. Back-to-back starts for the teenager. They've got a couple of members of that Joey's World Cup squad from last year in this starting 11 tonight.
That they have, but Burke and Kerdar, I saw him at the end of the game the other night after Western United, and I just said to him, you know, I know he's lost and all that, but he did not look out of place whatsoever. This is one talented boy.
You may remember he was mixing it up with Hulk in the AFC Champions League as a 16-year-old. He didn't shirk the issue that night either. Well won by Traore. Donachie playing his last few games for the club before joining Newcastle on a 3-year deal. Very good signing by the Jets. Great success with both of these clubs. James Donachie on the ball now. 5 finals appearances with Brisbane, 3 with the Victory. This will be the first season that he doesn't play finals football. Barnett in on Kim. He gets a reprieve and uses Brown this time. Classy ball around the corner to the chest of McDonald, who was fouled by Anderson. Brisbane really did build things up methodically during the summer months, but maybe they can play a bit higher tempo in these conditions, Bozza.
All teams can. And you have to say, I mean, this is a team that conceded 71 goals last season. What a fantastic job Robbie Fowler has done with this side thus far. It'll be a shame for them to let this season go for waste.
Early ball in, dealt with by Anderson. Over on that side of the pitch right now. Not a whole lot of room for Brisbane to try and fashion a pass into a dangerous area. There's McDonald presenting again. O'Shea. Inman. Brisbane won here on New Year's Day against the Wanderers. 2-1 victory on that afternoon. And Hingett attacking it. Laurie Latanzio lost his defensive assignment there, but Hingett couldn't direct a header on goal. Trademark diagonal from Gillespie, but asking a lot of Hingett. Kept it in to the advantage of Laurie Latanzio. Barnett showed too much of it to Kim, and Brisbane maintaining possession in the attacking third for a good sequence. And a little clip of the heels gives them a set piece, which O'Shea will be taking. Just about every one of their set pieces. The right footer out of Ireland, Jay O'Shea. Corey Brown is there. And there's the left footed option. You'd think for a bit of window dressing. Can go direct from here. Instead stabs it back post for Neville. And the header into no man's land. Eventually the Victory were able to tidy up through Donachie. Inman. Little slip. Oh, I didn't think there was much of a foul in that. Laurie Latanzio was actually upended by the man who'd slipped, but the free kick goes against him. He's trying to make the point.
Definite slip. Now a very dangerous situation here for Melbourne Victory. There's these times during the game when the decision goes against you that you believe should have went for you, that you've got to stay concentrated, because it's easy just to be thinking about, oh, we should never have conceded that free kick, we should never be in this position, and all of a sudden, boom, you're 1-0 down. This is where they've got to really concentrate. This is a dangerous position.
O'Shea and Brown over it again. O'Shea delivers back post and nicked out of there by Traore. Corner given.
Super ball in. Only thing that Traore could have done.
And as a goalkeeper, you're happy with him dealing with that, with the Brisbane Roar player in the vicinity?
100%. Look, as a goalkeeper, when it's in that type of position, there's a golden rule. If it goes above head height, then it should be yours. If it doesn't, you stay back.
Brown delivers, and there was a bit of push and shove going on inside the area. Spotted by Alex King, tonight's referee. And number 42 for him in the A-League. And Matt Acton in goal. Big opportunity for him. Melbourne Victory saying they're going to target another goalkeeper for the next season. It's a chance to show that he should be the #1.
Of course it is. And we saw what happened with Lawrence Thomas when that occurred. You know, remember that final series? I think it was right at the beginning of it or at the end of that season when Melbourne Victory won the grand final in the Premier's Plate, and he had to come in for Sebastian Coe, I think it was. And I remember being concerned at the time because, you know, that's one thing you're thinking, young goalkeeper coming in. He's been fantastic. So why can't Matty Acton do the same?
Nathan Coe, Sebastian Coe, of course, the great 1500-metre runner.
That's the one.
Brebner doing a good job at late notice. Of course, he knows a lot of these youngsters from the youth setup and the academy setup at the Victory. Traore's ball will find Naboot. Rojas trying to bend his run. Naboot might do it all on his own. And Corey Brown came across just in the nick of time for Brisbane.
Super play by Melbourne Victory. So dangerous when you got somebody that's coming into that false 9 position, as we call it. It really gives the defenders at the back a decision to make. Do they come forward? If they come forward, if you've got somebody running in quick behind, it makes it so difficult.
Broxham between the lines. There's Curdo. Traore. Pushing on into space. Laurie Latanzio on the edge of the area again. Classy little no-look pass. Rojas went through the legs of Aldred, but there was backup on the other side. In the form of Scott Neville. Here's a swift transition from the Raw. Scott McDonald. I think he was trying to push that further than that towards Hingett, but it found the feet of Wenzel Halls instead. Classy by Laurie Latanzio. Doesn't he look like a player, this kid? What can he do now? He's fouled. And a booking coming for Jack Hingett, who made that lung-bursting run, frustrated not to get on the end of things at the other end, and was backtracking. Comps the caution.
And deservedly so. Look, you know, we're being really brutal there by saying if you're a manager, you're going to say, if we get caught in transition, you pull them back, you take a booking for the side. But it is up to the referees. And since the restart, we've seen that quite a lot. There's been a lot against Wellington, actually. I've seen Wellington a lot of times, you know, hitting hard on transition, people fouling them. It's up to the referees to book them. Then they got it in their mind, if I do that again, I could be off.
As a result, the game should open up. McDonald, runners in motion. Broken up, though, the double team, even a triple team by the Victory. Playing with great energy. Brebner said, if you don't play with the energy, then you're out and I'll bring someone else in. Another slip from Wenzel Halls. Down at ground level for us tonight. Robbie Slater, what are you making of these opening exchanges?
Yeah, well, as with most of the games, really good pace, good tempo, and interesting that last attack where Jack Hingett got booked. I might just let you take this one over, but it's going a little bit wide, so I'll continue. But, you know, when Hingett and Corey Brown get forward, it's very important for Melbourne to try and utilise the space that they leave in behind. And Laurie Latanzio did that as it goes out for a corner. And obviously, Hingett fouls him, but with those two wing-backs, you need to try and get him behind and hit him quick with the pace of this guy or Rojas or Naboot, and that's where you can start dragging those three central defenders, on particularly the outside ones, out into areas they don't want to be. Decent start to the game, very even. Probably Melbourne just shading it, looking a little bit more sharp in and around the final third.
Here's Rojas to deliver. And helped on by Anderson, who threw his head back in frustration. He thought he'd done enough to score his first A-League goal. Hit it well, but there were bodies in the road. Now Broxham looking for Rojas. And Corey Brown in the road. Very familiar with the way the Victory play, of course. Laurie Latanzio, good shape about it. Naboot was being blocked off by Hingett, unable to get on the end of things, and that's out for a goal kick off Traore.
Danger once again from Melbourne Victory from that outswinging corner from their right. Brisbane's left. This is exactly how they scored against Western United. Not far off as well. And went close once again.
His own teammate who got the block in. But if it got past the boot, it would have struck a Brisbane Roar player anyway. That little flick's going to come off from McDonald for Inman. Brad Inman, men over on that far post. He's found Wenzel Halls, who could have used Hingett. Fired it into Traore instead.
Fantastic flick from Scott McDonald. Top class.
This one again to the head of Hingett. They're not quite on just yet. Wenzel Halls hitting Anderson on us, then safety first from the young centre half. His debut the other night. There are 4 teenagers in their starting 11. The Melbourne Victory. Won their past 4 games against Brisbane by an aggregate of 12 goals to 3. They need to stop the rot tonight, though. They've lost their past 3 games. Only ever lost 4 in a row once before, December 2015. Across the face, chance for Corey Brown. Didn't get hold of the shot as he would have hoped. He was going across goal quite considerably. Kim back to Brown. Back to Gillespie. Brown again. Lost the feet of McDonald. Here's Jay O'Shea, and great save, Matt Acton. O'Shea hit it well. It was angled for the side netting, and Acton got across in time.
Fantastic play by Brisbane. Great play here once again from Scott McDonald. Tries to pass it in the corner. Matt Acton with a fantastic save. Really was a top draw save. You see him using his opposite arm, which can reach further when it's going above head height and towards the top corner. Save's going right to the top corner or bottom corner, the hardest wants to make, and that was a fantastic save.
First 2 of those A-League games were as a Brisbane Roar player back in 2013. And the switch to the Victory. The corner routine does not come off like one did against the Victory the other night when Western United scored through Uscon. Donaghy with a searching ball. Finds Rojas. Rory Latanzio back at the first touch he was after. Just 1 win in their past 8 games against the Melbourne Victory. Brisbane, they've got 2 games left after tonight. Wellington here on August 5, Sydney FC at ANZ on August 10. I want to maximise the points out of these 3 fixtures.
Such a fantastic save. You know, you're looking back, you know, to men and moments, as I say, about games, and that was one of those moments. So, you know, Brisbane happened to lose this game. You look back on situations like that and you say, what fantastic save. Can change games, saves like that, and do.
And now Barnett caught from behind. Danny Kim making the case that it was all ball. He then caught Jay Barnett with the scything kind of motion, according to Alex King. What do you make of that one, boss?
Foul. You also know sometimes with players, when you know you've done a foul, the best thing to do is go straight on the attack with the referee. And so the referee starts going, what's he having to go at me for? But you know you've done the foul.
And they've committed the last 3. Just keeping an eye on things. Marco Rojas with the potential. Instead, the variation. And they can't keep it down through Naboot. 5 goals so far this season for the Socceroo. Bouncing ball for Anderson. Summed it up pretty well in the end. It was McDonald losing his feet. Thought for a moment he might have misjudged it, the teenager.
They've done very well with it. Really good defending. It's not too deep, nice and high. He understood. He doesn't have to commit himself.
Back to Jamie Young, the former A-League goalkeeper of the year. Neville under pressure from Kerdar, leading the press along with Naboot. That was handball off Traore. The header and the hand. That's the way of Rue. Barnett. Passing has been a feature so far. Rojas made room for Traore. Big chance here. Storm Rue back off the bar, and now Rojas following through. Jamie Young watches it skittle across the face of goal. How have the Victory not opened the scoring there?
Exact same question I was asking. I think Grant Brevin is saying exactly the same thing. Great play from Melbourne Victory. Really well played by Traore. Crossbar, rebound comes out, then to Rojas, and you're thinking it's going to go in, but it doesn't. They've been the better team, Melbourne Victory.
Tough to judge. You see it better than anyone. Did Jamie Young get a fingertip on that one?
That I don't know.
We might have another look in a moment as Traore lets fly. And Brisbane, a big counter-attack opportunity here. The advantage played and taken in stride by Inman. One man to get past, and that one man was Broxham. Look at the flow in this game. Exciting A-League action coming your way in the month of July. Storm Rue that close to goals in back-to-back games for the first time in his lengthy A-League career. After scoring that header the other night. Hingett across the face. Anderson's header. Chesting it down for Corey Brown. Great to see the numbers committed inside the area. This should be Acton's ball.
It's up and down. Oh, he did. He did. Fantastic save. So we've had a great save up at each end. 2 fantastic saves. Really good flow to this game, up and down, like you said.
I think that's part of the reaction of Ruse when he was denied the goal. I think he saw the touch off Jamie Young. He said, "How did he do that to me?" Thought he'd struck it well enough. Now the nutmeg. Wenzel hauls across the face. Fabulous play. No one coming in at that back post. O'Shea. Too much on it for Wenzel Halls. Two teams going at it at Bankwest. That takes you back to some fabulous contests between these two clubs down the years. Rojas, Laurie Latanzio flying in, but so were a couple of Brisbane defenders. Neville and Aldred combined to prevent the teenager from capping his starting debut.
What a pass as well from Lee Broxham to Rojas. We just spoke about really good flow to the game. It's been up and down for at least the last 5 minutes or so. And that's the benefits of playing in these type of conditions. You know, in the searing heat, there's no way you could keep that intensity for 5 or 6 minutes. You'd have to slow it down, make sure everybody gets a breather. Some really enterprising football from both teams.
You've had a look at it. What's your ideal setup for an A-League season then? Do you think it's March until September, October?
Whatever the powers that be decide. I love my football, whatever they decide. But all I can say is that going off this experience, in terms of when we've come back from COVID-19, these conditions, I can't tell you, like I said, every night that whether it be raining or not, and yes, I love my rain because I live so long in the UK, I've just like wanted to go out and play, you know, and there have been times in the last 10 years or so when I've come here and I feel very sorry for the players, thinking to myself they have to go out and run in that today. So whatever the powers that be decide, and whatever's best of the game, but that's only my observation. Like I said, it's just fantastic conditions, and you see the result in the football that's being played.
The deflection, the intended through ball from McDonald, made it easy for the Victory to defend. Anderson looked a little nervy the other night, but settled down in this game, hasn't he, Aaron Anderson? Playing with a lot more confidence. And that's completely understandable. There's a teammate down here, so the referee stops play for Traore. Hopefully just a knock, but he has had knee problems.
I think.
Oh, there's the check. The old ACL check. Let's hope it's nothing as serious as that.
I think he just got him on the outside of the knee. That can be real painful as well. So you see him pointing to there.
Goalkeepers in form tonight, Mark Bosnich.
Well, I said to you how important it is to have a fantastic goalkeeper that can change. You saw the save that Curto made the other night, the one low down from Laurie Latanzio. This one, absolute top draw. Like I said, using the opposite arm, which he should, you can't see it right there, but giving him that further reach. And this one, just as good. That little fingertip stops it from going in the goal, and it's so important. And I said that the other night, and we saw that, like I said, Curto's low down save. There it is, look at that. You know, right from Laurie Latanzio, right before they score. That goes in, it's 2-1, then they score 2-2, completely different. And from being in a situation of total dominance, here's why it's so important to have a top goalkeeper. You know, all of a sudden you got your backs against the wall.
There is Warren Moon, the new Brisbane Roar coach. Both of these coaches tonight in their second game in charge. Moon, a foundation player with the then Queensland Roar back in 05-06 in the Hyundai A-League. Played 14 games that season, scored a couple of goals. Grant Brebner, of course, still in the top 10 for all-time appearances with the Victory. 120 of them. Inman. Barnett took it off his toe. Counter-attack here. Rojas looking at the run being made by Naboot. Ran into trouble, but Barnett goes early. And tracking back is Hingett in the nick of time. Kurda. And he thought there was a 1-2 on, did Laurie Latanzio. Kurda was blocked off, though, and the referee right on top of things. Aldred knew that he'd overcommitted, wasn't letting him past. Slammed the turf in frustration, did young Kurda. So he might have copped a corky there. Free kick routine. It was a sharp one. And it's out for the goal kick. Last touch off Storm Roo. Robbie Slater, it must be a delight watching this ball just ping around out there.
Yeah, like you said, it's end to end and really good to watch. Goalkeepers both at the top of their form, but gee, I'll tell you, in this transition game, you know, one attack, one side, and then the next one literally goes up the other end. Very hard for the midfielders like O'Shea and Barnett, Broxham to really, you know, keep, you know, their structure really. That midfielders like it when it's tighter. They don't like it when it gets stretched that much because it just means more running for them. But certainly that save from Jamie Young, fingertips, as Bozza said, absolutely brilliant. And Matthew Acton just the same. But as you said, you know, the only surprise in this game is that it's 0-0.
Approaching the half-hour mark. Donald worked hard to provide an option from the throw. Given away carelessly to Naboot. Side of goal, and the deflection was favourable. Straight to Jamie Young.
Really good pressing once again for Melbourne Victory.
McDonald thought about a little flick around the corner. Inman linked up with Kim instead. And O'Shea has options now. Trying to thread the needle. Didn't quite work the angle. Now, too much elevation. It's the one goal so far this season, so close to his second earlier on. A man with Premier League experience against Manchester United, no less. The Birmingham City player 11 years ago now. For Jay O'Shea, Grant Bredner with that Scottish Premier League experience before he came to Australia. Gillespie a little over physical, then kicked the ball away, and there's a final warning from the referee about that kind of activity. Well played by Naboot. Here he goes back to the number 9. And they've got an overload on that side of the pitch. Rojas to Traore, who's recovered nicely. It's floating and drifting and over the bar for a corner.
Good play again from Melbourne Victory. And people will be watching say, why the overload? Because all those players who were playing up front, Rojas, Nabu, you saw just come earlier, but they're coming off into that false 9 position. The Brisbane Roar 3 at the centre back have got two minds. They don't know whether to go in or if to stay. When they stay, and you see with Rojas, he turns and starts running at them, then there's a problem. Traore providing the numbers on the outside.
Tame ball in by Laurie Latanzio. Easily cut out. Shoved by Wenzel Halls into the back of Broxham. The referee making the point to Brox that you've got the ball. No point giving you a free kick on the sideline. Let's keep going on with it. Naboot won the flick on. Rojas. Still Marco Rojas. The Kiwi Messi denied. A perfectly timed sliding block from Aldred.
Super run, great block.
Kerdar on the move, but he's not moving as well as he did at the start of this game after that knock that he received.
Yeah, I think he might be right with that one. Maybe it was just been a little bit sore. Cork still been playing really well, as have Melbourne Victory in general. Doing a wonderful job, Kerdar, Barnett and Broxham, how they keep the ball in the middle and allow time for Storm Rue on the one side and Traore on the other to get forward.
Inman waiting for Corey Brown to loom on his left shoulder. Switching it up to Neville, who's got Hingert outside. Played it poorly, Scott Neville. Gave it away to the speedster. Lewis, Laurie Latanzio, trying to turn Jay O'Shea inside out, but the Irishman's seen that trick before.
Good defending.
Traore muscled his way past. Naboot, great strength on the ball. And he fired it to the wrong option because Rojas was offside. Kerdar would have been the better plan. Wenzel Hall's on the move. Donachie knew what was coming. Acton going long. Brown brought it down. Another slip from Kim cost him the chance to get on the end of things. Will a few of the players be changing their footwear at half-time, Mark Bosnich, or are these slips perhaps unavoidable? Here's Rojas in behind and overhit the attempted deft finish.
Super play again from Melbourne Victory. Always get that feeling that Rojas, Nabu and Laurie Latanzio have got the beating of those three at the back.
There's was ready for the old Arsene Wenger double fist celebration there, Grant Brebner. And Rojas is obviously capable of producing it as well. Look at all those shots, 8 of the last 9 on the victory. And navy blue, their fans must be getting excited about this injection of youth. They've still got the class of Naboot through the legs, if you don't mind, and they'll get a corner off Aldred. Still 3 games to come for the victory. There's the Mariners on August 3 at Cogra, Perth Glory and the Wanderers before their season is over. Latanzio slices one in and again cut out by the first man. There's another advantage being played. McDonald is going to do well against 5, isn't he? And he did fabulously well. Linked up with the only option he had. And now Inman across the face, and Broxham was on the right side of Wenzel Halls. But what about the football brain from Scott McDonald?
Yeah, class once again. We saw him earlier on, about 15-20 minutes ago, with that super flick. He was up there pretty much on his own there and done a really good job. Despite the best efforts of Lee Broxham to stop it in its tracks. When they would transition, they kept going.
Scott McDonald, of course, scored his first A-League goal against the Victory, a famous one for Western United when they turned that Melbourne derby around. How long ago was that, though? Round 4 of this season. There's the patient build-up by Brisbane, probing, waiting for a defender to clock off. And Inman was the one. A lack of concentration on that pass. Blue can use Broxham, who can look forward now. Rojas absolutely buzzing about. Kerdar back to the skipper.
Lovely play.
Asking for more rotation. Kerdar trying to shield it away. Gillespie towered over him. Broxham for Laurie Latanzio. Almost shoulder to shoulder, but Hingett got his body in the right position.
Better but from Brisbane Roar from a defensive perspective. Forced twice to play long balls, and long balls should suit those 3 big centre halves. And also, and I was speaking to somebody, I won't mention his name to embarrass him, but I call him the Australian football guru last night. He made a very, very salient point, as you know, to press obviously it is a good thing, there's no doubt about that, but it's got to be done in the right way. It could be a bad thing, and one thing you just saw in that little passage of play from Brisbane was not to go 1 out or 2 out. It's got to be a press with the whole team, or it's just better just to stay in your structure and just to wait.
Now Brown, a slip as McDonald tried to change direction, then he went under the keeper, and it's an obvious foul even though he came off second best. Scott McDonald sucking in the big ones. Much communication from these 2 new faces in the technical areas, Robbie Slater?
No, not much, but they're looking at each other quite a bit. But just love the reaction of Warren Moon just before he's called out to Tommy Aldred and said, love the ball, and that means they love to play possession-based football, and he feels that they're not keeping the ball enough, they're giving it away cheaply, and there's no doubt Melbourne have been well on top and have torn them to shreds at time.
Hingett, McDonald trying to get there, and well defended again. Donachie it was, sliding in to get it out for the corner.
Top defending.
27 years of age. James Donachie, a real leader. Former young Socceroos captain. He's an 18-year-old when he made his A-League debut in the orange of the Raw. Championship winner with both of these clubs. Two number twos went up. Kim, good ball back into the feet of Gillespie. Little back heel and placing it just wide of that bottom corner. Brad Inman, was it a shot or an attempted pick out of a teammate?
I think it was a shot, inches wide. Just goes to show, regardless of the dominance that you do have, you've always got to stay concentrating. And that's regardless, even if you're 1-0 up or even 2-0 up. You saw that the other night. Western United, by far the better team, dominating. Moment slip in concentration. It's 2-1, there's 10 minutes to go. All of a sudden, from a position of complete dominance, you've got Mark Rooney and his staff looking, saying, look, we've got 10 minutes, Melbourne Victory have got a corner. You've got to stay on your toes, and you've got to stay mentally alert, especially during these moments now. Last 5 to 10 minutes of each half and first to 5 to 10 minutes. Very, very important.
Brisbane have had a week and a half to get ready for this game since the loss on the Gold Coast to the Reds. Victory just 3 full days of rest. And the assistant is saying that's another corner. That's why Andrew Naboot was so calm. If the decision went against him, it may have been a different reaction.
Perhaps so.
They're trying a few different things with corners from this side, the Victory. This time Rojas says to Laurie and Latanzio, get in there. Counter attack. A little handball in there by Donachie. He said it was by his side. I thought there was a deliberate kind of action there from Donachie to block that one off. McDonald wasn't happy.
Well, it stopped their attack, didn't it?
Might be a change before the break. Mark and Kurt are limping around.
Maybe he hasn't quite recovered from that challenge from Tommy Aldred.
Josh Hope, the Tasmanian, will be called upon. Rojas. An easy ball to Broxham, tried the extravagant one. And number 222 in the A-League tonight for Scott Neville. He's played in these parts with the Western Sydney Wanderers. Lovely ball, Gillespie, even though he slipped, he found his target in McDonald. Across the face, O'Shea almost able to fashion a ball. The Hingett went to the safer ball instead. Now Wenzel Halls against Anderson. Back in there by O'Shea. Away by Donachie. Came off that little turn from O'Shea. Deflection. And Inman trying to help it on. Broxham, that header will be coming back via Hingett and Neville. Kim. Oh, that was on. Deft little flick around the corner from McDonald. Didn't come off this time, but here go Brisbane again. Hingett cut back. And the flick off Inman. Unable to direct it on target. Back in by Brown. Now finishing with a real surge here, the Raw. And Acton diffuses it.
Good take. Good play from Brisbane Raw. Always looking and searching for that switcher play. Try to overload one side, then go to the other side. Get those numbers in, get players making those runs, as you saw there from Hignett, either in the channel or in the little pocket, as we say, in between the edge of the box and the 6-yard box.
Oh, lovely link up. Brisbane, well, they butchered another chance. Overhit by Inman. And Wenzel Hall's forced wide. O'Shea tries to rifle it in the top corner. That may have been arguably their best chance of the night with a better pass. They surely score.
Well, I was just about to say, there was no goalkeeping save this time, but it was, in my opinion, by far their best chance. You have to give a bit of credit there to Storm Roo. He had a decision to make. Does he go and close the man with the ball? Does he wait? He stayed in between, but really, that should have resulted in a goal for Brisbane Roar. And what a time it would have been to score as well. Look at that, right on half-time. Melbourne Victory had played such a cracking pace, tied out a little bit this last 5 minutes or so. Brisbane Roar would be severely at Warren Moon and his staff must be tearing their hair out. They didn't score there.
Inman had that purple patch, didn't he? Mid-season when he was smashing them in from outside the box. And on reflection, he's probably thinking, take the strike on himself.
That's what I'm saying. You've got to give a little credit to Storm Roo because he made Hingett make his mind up rather than making it up for him. It showed his experience, and it's so important for defenders to remember that nothing's ever a lost cause. It's always better to let the opposition player make his mind up rather than you make it up for him.
So final action of the first half. And O'Shea drop it on a dime. Acton came and then retreated. And still alive here for Brisbane, trying to tee up Inman. And the deflection goes wide. Is there time for the corner? Alex King is going to let things roll, is he? Checks his watch now. He will give Brisbane one last set piece. Just wonder if the ref's thinking, I hope this doesn't lead to a goal, otherwise it might be a bit of controversy. Wenzel Hall's asking for a penalty if Traore continues to be over physical. And it's a short corner routine, and that should prompt the whistle. Can't get it into the area, and that's a little lacking in awareness so far as the clock was concerned, going with that setup. So this first half somehow finishes goalless. The woodwork struck by the Melbourne Victory, tipped onto the bar by Jamie Young, and a super save from Matt Acton early on as well. At the break, it's 0-0. Stay with us. Tara Rushton and Robbie Slater will break down the first half right after this.
Welcome back to your Wednesday Night Live on Fox Sports. The A-League Jack action, it does continue. Melbourne victory v Brisbane Roar. Real end-to-end action. There's some fantastic saves made by Jamie Young and Matt Acton as well. Really, the only thing that has been missing from the first half of football has been a couple of goals for either side, Robbie Slater, because it's been a really open game. Brisbane Roar did finish the half better compared to Melbourne victory, but both chances end to end.
Yeah, well, you can't fault the players for trying to score because there's been loads of chances for both sides. I thought victory, for large parts of the game, were the better side. They looked really dangerous in transition, and I thought their midfield in the middle part of that first half really got on top. And they had their chances, as we said, lots of them.
Exactly right, and you spoke about the midfield being able to control the build-up play, and we can see their chances right here. Rojas, Naboot, Laurie Latanzio heavily involved, Robbie.
Well, I thought they played it cleverly, and Bozza did make the point as well that, you know, the back three of Brisbane, you see here, they're not picking anyone up. So all the front runners for victory were just dropping in between the two lines, between the defenders and the midfielders, and they were running at those back three, and certainly with Rojas and Laurie Latanzio and Naboot, they had a lot of joy at getting in behind and getting strikes on target. And Jamie Young made a terrific save. We'll look at that again, but you know, Grant Brebner, we were very close to. He was the happier of the two coaches for large parts of that first half.
That's for sure. Warren Moon, though, heading into the sheds, would have been happy with what he saw from a Brisbane Roar perspective in, say, the last 8 minutes of the game. It took them a while to find their feet, though, from a Roar perspective. Yeah,
it was pretty even for the first 10 minutes or so, and then they took over, really, in that last 5 or 6 minutes where they could have and probably should have scored. First one was O'Shea, and this is an outstanding save from Matthew Acton, and both goalkeepers played their part. Like we said, in spite of victory being on top, Brisbane still managed to make a number of chances themselves.
Yeah, Braden Inman was great as the half went on, very strong, and Jay O'Shea, some great interplay between the both of them.
Yeah, look, I thought Inman had a poor start to the game, and he got better as the game went on. And, you know, in that last 5 or 6 or 7 minutes towards the end of the break, Brisbane really took a little bit of control and created some chances. And, you know, better decision-making, a better final ball, particularly from Jay O'Shea, where I think he could have shot and taken it on himself. Brisbane would have gone 1 goal up.
What about the final decision of the game, with the clock ticking down, with seconds left, and you're thinking Brisbane Roar have got the ball here, and they play a short corner, Rob?
Well, there was a minute added on, and this was well past him. There was a minute and a half when he gave. I thought that Alex King was very nice to generous to allow them to take the corner, and I couldn't believe it when they set it up to take a short corner, and it was just dumb. That was just a poor decision because they were right on top. It was the chance to maybe create something right at the death of the first half.
Just whip it in the box, why don't you?
Yes, that's what they should have done.
Goalkeepers, utterly outstanding. Bozza wrapped them up in commentary, but they've really stood up tonight.
They certainly have, and both made 2 outstanding saves. Obviously, we've seen them in the highlights, but let's highlight them again. O'Shea's only scored 1 goal this season. He probably thought he was going to get number 2 there, but that's outstanding with the other arm, as Bozza pointed out. He can get stretched further across. Storm Roux, quite simply, thought he'd scored. And in real time, you don't realise, but when you slow it down, he got fingertips to it to push it onto the crossbar, and it nearly broke the crossbar. So 2 fantastic saves from the goalkeepers. So the only thing that's missing is the goals, because it's been a wonderful spectacle.
Do you feel they're coming?
I think there's going to be some goals in the second half.
Well, Storm Roux as well. He could have had goals in back-to-back games for the first time in his A-League career.
He's still got 45 minutes.
Just too strong. The football, it does continue, of course, a festival of football live on Fox Sports. We're back here tomorrow night. It's 5th v 6 for this huge clash. Adelaide United and Perth Glory, because we know that all the teams are scrapping it out to keep and play finals, Rob.
Yeah, it's a big game. Perth sitting on 34 points and Adelaide not far behind. So in respect to the top 6, and for teams out of the top 6, they need results, probably praying for a draw, the likes of Western Sydney Wanderers and the Newcastle Jets, who've only got 2 games to play.
It is going to be so
and
close.
Western United.
Yeah,
it's going to be close.
Cannot wait to see them both in action back here on Bankwest Stadium. So what's going to happen in the second half? We're thinking goals?
Well, I'm thinking, some more fireworks up in the commentary box from Bozza, Bozza and Speedy, our new #1 commentary double. And I think
have you been
very
relegated
good.
to work with me?
Yes, I have been, but I don't mind that. It's good listening to them. I think they've been excellent.
Perhaps a change for Melbourne Victory. Birkin Kedar, we think that he's injured. We saw Josh Hope getting
He's
ready.
coming on, definitely.
So he's going to come on
Yeah,
as
they
well.
just held it because it was so close to half-time, I think, which is a shame because I've really enjoyed the way he's played, not only this game, but the game against Western United. But Josh Hope will come on, and they just held it. He gave the sign that he could continue till half-time.
We'll see what Brisbane Roar do. They've got Marty Holloway on the bench as well. So a huge second half, though, coming up on the other side. We're goalless at the moment, but we feel that there are goals coming live right here on Fox Sports as the action continues on the other side of this short break between Brisbane Roar and Melbourne Victory. We'll see you soon.
One, two, Warren Moon, test. Hi, Warren. Brenton Speed here, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. Josh Hope about to come on.
One, two, 1, 2.
Goalless at the break, and we have the keepers to thank for that. Matt Acton superb at one end, denying Jay O'Shea, while this fingertip save from Jamie Young was all important to tip it onto his crossbar. and denies Storm Roo. Chance to check in with one of the coaches as Grant Brebner makes a change. Josh Hope coming on for Burke and Curter, as we predicted before the break. Warren Moon joins us now. We enjoyed that first half. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. We were, you know, a lot better this week. We're on the front foot. I think we just need to be a little bit more. We'll take care of the ball a lot better in the final third when we get there.
But still, Warren, you played some wonderful stuff, and we've seen that all year, you know, eventually with Robbie Fowler and Tony Grants as well. And you said when you first come in, you didn't want to change too much, but if there was one thing you could change, would it be the wastefulness? I mean, we saw that, again, the chance right at the end where really you should have been 1-0 up.
Yeah, we spoke about being more ruthless. We know we need to be. I'm sure every side needs to be when you get those kind of chances, but the good thing is we're making those chances. If we weren't, I'd be more worried.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, Warren.
And his team right into the attacking third, straight from the kickoff. Ten wins gained under Robbie Fowler before he decided to stay back in the UK. Post the COVID lockdown. And now locking down at Brisbane. Jack Hingett keeping the victory hemmed in for now.
Superb job he done turning this team around. It's last season, second last, conceded 71 goals. The position they are this season, some of the football they're playing, it's just that wastefulness. Have a look at them. A very similar type of thing at the start of this season, where they started to play good football but still wasting those chances. If I had more time to talk to Warren, I'd like to ask him, you know, are they this wasteful during training, or are they completely opposite in trains, and then you think it's a confidence thing? Because like I said, that, you know, that wasn't even a goalkeeping save, but that one with Hingett, that really should have been 1-0 for Brisbane.
I think it was Inman, wasn't it? Inman,
that's right.
Yeah. Barnett just checking over his shoulder. He's a really busy player, isn't he? The youngster in midfield.
He's been excellent tonight.
Trying to cushion it for Laurie Latanzio was Rojas. Out off Neville. Rojas was on the back foot. They get away with it as it breaks for Hope. Andrew in the boot, lining up the shot. And Young working hard to prevent the corner. Will do so just inside his area. Was wary of handling it outside his box, of course. Good shoulder-to-shoulder stuff from Laurie Latanzio. And Traore caught late by Hingett. A decent battle between those two.
Contact sport.
Lovely first touch from Traore. Bloxham assessing the options. Goes to Rojas, tried the nutmeg, and Macaulay Gillespie's seen that a few times already. Broke for Inman. Linking up with Kim. Trying to force a shot. Didn't really get hold of it. O'Shea told to turn. Hingett getting a late shout from Neville, used him as a decoy in the end. Asked for that handball off Broxham, who turned his back on it. Now Neville has a chance to whip it in. And by Hope. Broxham coolly done. Working hard, the victory able to pass their way out again.
Lovely play. Lovely, lovely play from Melbourne Victory.
Hope got it wide to Roo. Barnett might go back the other way to the youngster. Laurie Latanzia. Oxen, Storm Root, the target, but it bent away from him.
Fantastic passage of play from Melbourne Victory. What a goal that would have been if they had scored it. Unfortunately, Broxham's pass went wayward, but the way they played themselves out of danger. And even Laurie Latanzia, when he got the ball on the edge of the left side of the box here, he was patient. He realised 2 players in front of me will come back, will go the other way. But that was a fantastic passage of play.
And a tough season, of course. Marco Kurtz came and went as Victory coach. Is this the best they've played all season, was there, in your opinion? These last couple of games, even though they haven't won one yet?
Yes. Like I said, I don't think they got the plaudits they deserved against Western United.
They're missing some class players. Ulla Toivonen now with Malmo in his native Sweden. Jakob Paulsen as well, didn't return. Here's Wenzel Halls. Blocks him again. What a night he's having. Careless giveaway from Barnett though. Straight to his opposite number. It's out off him for the throw.
Yeah, it's always difficult when you replace somebody who's had so much success in Kevin Muscat coming in, but it definitely, obviously for this season, and even towards the end of Kevin's reign, which was a fantastic reign, don't get me wrong, they've not quite been the club and the team that they have been in the past. They know that. They've got to get back there.
They're not used to being in that position. Second from bottom. Big night for Brisbane. They can push on and get another 2 points on top of that 36. Currently credited with a point, of course, on a live ladder. Darren Davies, the assistant of Warren Moon. Kevin Muscat now has Carlos Salvatore as his assistant in Belgium. With some Truden. Elvis camps over, not too far away.
Yep.
Got away from Hope. The middle from Traore. Apologises to Wenzel Halls. Filed away by the young striker.
Yeah, Carlos Salvatore, you say he's going to join Kevin Muscat as an assistant. Look, I've never been a coach or an assistant, but one thing I do know is very, very difficult to make the jump up from being assistant to the coach. There's very few that have actually done it very successfully. And Carlos, lovely man that he is and knows his football inside, he is an assistant.
Again, he's got a couple to beat now. It's stylishly to keep it alive for Roux. It's in the boot, and Rojas had made their runs. A little frustrated, didn't go their way earlier, but now there might be a chance. Stunning first touch. Laurie Latanzio, brilliant skill by the young man, and went for the shot in the end. Space just closed down.
Super play from young Laurie Latanzio. God, he's good to watch. Real breath of fresh air.
Looks even busier with that mop of his hair, doesn't he? Jay Barnett, it's flicking around all over the place as he looks this way and that.
He's been excellent tonight as well.
Rojas just peeled off into space. Now Traore along the deck and dealt with by Neville. Straight to Wenzel Halls. Broxham in a foot race. Wenzel Halls, great angle on the pass in front of Inman. Victory under pressure again. And Donachie just holds things up. Here's O'Shea though, can go to Wenzel Halls again. And Traore got back in time. Sloppy pass by O'Shea. He nicks it off Laurie Latanzio's boot. And early, and away by Anderson now. Barnett going to spray one. And Gillespie had the angles covered against Rojas. Gone over the top of Gillespie, it may have been interesting. Now Kim, McDonald, Wenzel Halls, that combination between the two strikers. Hingett, Neville. Cut back, made it tough on McDonald. Nice touch off Broxham for a corner, and Scott McDonald reading the riot act to Jack Hingett about some of his build-up play. Time for that change. It's the last we'll see of this young man for tonight, but there's plenty more to come.
He's been absolutely excellent. Completely understandable young boy. Coming off at this time, he's put everything into it. To this 55 minutes, of course, Melbourne Victory backing up after 3 days as well, but he can be very proud of his night's work. I think Grant Brebner giving him a smile. Shame he's off, really. So exciting when he gets the ball.
You don't lose anything in excitement with Cam Sober, the replacement though. O'Shea just kept that corner in. Clever header into space by Kim to Inman. Lifted into the area, header and in for Brisbane to take the lead. Scott McDonald, didn't he spring to life when presented with that opportunity? Acton got a hand to it but couldn't keep it out. And how big will that goal be as Raw look to solidify their top 6 spot?
And you can see how much it means to them. Even Jamie Young, their goalkeeper, coming up to celebrate. Ball comes back in, and we'll have a look, but I think the header actually deflects, which puts the goalkeeper off. Yeah. Just off Donaghy, I think it was. Wonderful ball off the outside the foot. There it is. That's what puts Acton off. But super header. Massive test now for the young Melbourne Victory side. They've played so well tonight. Now they're 1-0 down. This is where you've got to show your mettle and your courage to keep going.
It's been an inspired move, hasn't it, from Western United to the Brisbane Roar. That's his 5th goal in 11 games for the club. Cam Sober to Traore, almost tricked his way around, and Neville played it out off Traore, they say. That's an eagle-eyed spot from Alex King. You see it played off Traore.
Yeah, it looked a corner, didn't it?
So Cam Sober involved in the lead up there, Robbie Slater. What do you want to see out of him tonight?
Well, he's such an exciting player, and he gives us some magical moments. Who'd forget that goal that was a no-goal offside, where he did his pirouettes or whatever you want, backflips. But that's it for me. It's where it counts. For the position he plays and all the energy and all the trickery we see and we love, there's got to be end products. So from Cam Sober, that's what we want to see. You've either got to be in that position, scoring goals, or at the very least, assisting.
Here comes the Roar again. Hingett pulling it back. Straight to McDonald again. And on the edge of the area, kept alive by O'Shea. That deflection was a kind one again for Acton.
Wonderful play again from Scott McDonald. Held the ball up so well. Brings his teammates back into play. He's been fantastic for them tonight. Fair play to Brisbane Roar. So large portions of that first half. They're on the receiving end of some wonderful football from Melbourne Victory. They kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. Just keep playing the way that's been instilled in them.
Hingett gets the shout, a man on. Andrew Naboot was steaming towards him. Brisbane in the driver's seat. Neville hoping that might find a teammate. There was only Victory where it was headed. And then he cops one. Well, you don't want to cop one from Naboot. Might be feeling a little crook in a moment, Scott Neville. Here's Inman. Wenzel Halls through the middle, and that's going to get away from him. It's an ambitious touch in that part of the pitch.
So close.
The boot flag staying down for him here. Rojas very late to react. He thought the offside was coming, so he didn't bother helping. Now he's arriving, and he might still get there. Rojas was that close. But he wants to be an assistant referee. He wants a flag in his hand.
Great run by Naboo. Then holds the ball up, does the right thing. Just a bit short. We've got to keep going here, Melbourne Victory. Seen a few of them, their heads dropping a little bit. They've played really well tonight. Let's keep going, keep going.
Great awareness there by Wenzel Halls to flick it out in front of Jack Hingett. Brisbane keen to double their advantage. They know they might need a bit of a buffer with the way the Victory finished the other night against Western United. Can't afford to sit on the 1-0. Here's Inman. Patience back to Brown. His clearance along the deck, tidied up by Kim. Opening up the angle here. No look pass to Scott McDonald on the turn. And scuffed his shot in the end, upset with himself.
Super play again from Brisbane. Patient, waiting for that opening, probing. You know, Robbie Fowler and Tony Grant are watching from the UK. If they are, hello to them both. I'm just so proud of this team and what they've achieved in such a short period of time.
That's a clever ball by Storm Root. Right in front of Hope. The boot inside the area. Hope working his way back, and he's got Barnett with him. And Traore. Sober. Late challenge was spotted by the referee. Wenzel Halls didn't need to do that. Gives away the set piece.
Dangerous position as well. Would be particularly popular in the dressing room if they happen to score from this. In those situations, and as players get tired, it's understandable you make more mistakes and all that. But in those positions, you know, the attacking player wants you to make a move so he can either run into you or draw the foul. You just stay on your feet. It's to make them beat you. Stay on your feet. If they go across the other side, you've done your job. Now, you're in a really dangerous position. This is pressure.
They're leaving Donachie all alone for the deepest run. Rojas. Out comes Young. Just clear of a couple of teammates. Barnett. And Sober. Ball was forced all the way back to Traore. Is that going to hold up? Wouldn't have thought so. Gives us the chance to check on the goal that separates the two teams right now, scored by Scott McDonald.
Once again, wonderful ball by Inman. That little deflection from the header was enough to put the goalkeeper off. Good goal. He's been fantastic tonight for them, Scott McDonald. Held the ball up when he had to, onto his teammates when he has to be. He's a real pivot for them. They look to him in so many ways. True leader for them tonight.
Should go past Roy O'Donovan at some stage as their top scorer this season. And O'Donovan now with the Jets, of course, after scoring a hat-trick earlier in the campaign in raw colours against Melbourne City. Speaking of people watching in the UK, there'll be a lot of Middlesbrough fans, a lot of Celtic fans saying that's just what Scott McDonald does. Right place, right time, scoring goals. Done it right throughout his storied career. Hope on the turn. Roxham. Anderson. Rojas. Want to go backwards, but in the end it was his only option. It was a fair celebration from the Brisbane Roar bench. Robbie Slater, they really are buying into this month-long camp, if you like, in Sydney and trying to make this season a very special one.
Yeah, exactly, and if they can get a win here, and there's a long way to go on, Victory will have you would say, chances to come back, as Brisbane will have chances. Just been that kind of game to maybe go further in the lead. But you saw how much it meant to them. And, you know, like I said, they get 3 points here. They'll be sitting very, very nicely, maybe able to strike for second position.
Here's Hope. Still alive for Josh Hope. The quick feet. And Corey Brown well positioned to prevent it getting through to a boot for a tap-in. Dazzling feet from Hope after the initial strike rebounded into his path again. Traore whips one across the face, and Corey Brown's right place, right time again. Roxon bundled over by Wenzel Hall's the adjudication. Brisbane dropping deep here. That back five. Brown now pushing out. There's space as a result. Barnett's keeping it alive. They're coming together. Referee says, great contest, you two. And play on. Roxham switches it up. And Sober wide right. Elvis into the area. Hope on the back foot. McDonald saw what was coming. There's no one for that ball, though. Brisbane trying to push out. Will be coming back. Extravagant backheel first time from Traore came off. Can make 5 subs each coach. I've seen Brebner go to his bench a couple of times. What Warren Moon is thinking about in terms of his changes. Andy Holloway always a candidate. There's a Muratovic. Another attacking option for them if they want to give Scott McDonald a chop out. And Matt Redenton, who was the starter the other night. And his first game as a Brisbane Roar player, is another option off the bench. Oh, he is back onside. Had a good long look at it. Storm Roux kept McDonald on, according to Scott Edling. Back post delivery, and Kim trying to stretch to get on the end of it. It was a valiant effort.
Wonderful play again from McDonald. Stellar performance from him tonight.
That's a great call. Great call by the assistant. Players going one way and then reacting the other.
Bent run as well.
Hope. Cam Sober sees Rojas. So did Scott Neville, who was the man in the road.
Keep coming, Melbourne Victory. I was a little bit concerned about them after the goal. Young players, and like I said to you, about keeping going, being knocked back a little bit after playing so well, and then they concede a goal, but they've kept coming.
And Donachie looking to make that late run. They'll pick him up late. Rojas slices at Donachie, the target. Bouncing ball, and Hingett almost the meat in the sandwich. Had to be brave, and he was. Punches one to Rojas. Oh, Broxham into the back of Scott McDonald. He says, did I really deserve that?
Well, he got one on the goalkeeper in the first half. He's got one again. think that was one of them. Sorry, but on purpose. Done well for Melbourne Victory that tonight. Lee Broxham helped direct some of these young boys.
So another youngster given their chance. So Nishikawa on for Traore, like-for-like change in that left-back role. Seen Nishikawa a couple of times. One other time in the A-League. I've also seen him as part of that Champions League squad. An early test for him here, picking up Hingett. Nishikawa forcing Hingett into error in the end. The lefty ran back into trouble.
Well, really good play, really good defending. Stood on his feet again. Said to the opposition player, come on, beat me, do something. No, I'm not going to dive in.
Joined the Victory as a youth team player in 2017. So Nishikawa, here's a chance. Naboot, great ball. Storm Roux has options. What can Hope pick out? 4 teammates wait inside the area. Fired straight into Brown. They asked for handball. The assistant had the best view of all. And the referee says it struck his hand in a natural position, or his arm, natural position by his side.
Yep, completely the right decision. Well done to the officials.
Inside the final 20 minutes of the 90. Rojas again looking for Donachie. And he almost palmed it, or handled it towards goal. Interesting approach, trying to get Donachie into the mix off the long run. Brisbane have looked pretty comfortable dealing with that threat.
They've got a lot of aerial power, Brisbane. They shouldn't have no problem with that. Especially the trajectory of the corner as well. When it's an outswinger hitting it like that, it should be okay for them.
No one there for McDonald's flick on. Right down the middle. Bounced off Hope. Well, there was an angle for Rojas right through the middle. Went to Naboot instead. Andrew Naboot. Great sliding challenge. There's been 3 or 4 times Brisbane defenders have done that tonight. Well, played by Kim. Late challenge, and Brisbane just say we want the free kick this time and the caution, thanks. We won't take the advantage.
Right decision. Brisbane didn't want the advantage there, did they? Yeah, but coming back to that corner, the way they're hitting the trajectory, they're hitting it basically with the laces, so it's going in that nice way. When you start hitting it with that curl, with that inside of the foot and whipping it in, it's a different story. Gives defenders less time to adapt. Maybe they want to start trying that with those corners. You whip them in, it's a split second. You float them, or you hit them with that, like I said, with the laces trajectory. It makes it easier to defend.
There's a naughty challenge from Jay Barnett that copped its rightful sanction. Jay O'Shea having a little glance at his opposite number, thinking they might get you back at some stage. Hingett. McDonald still full of running. Oh, brilliant. And a deflection loops up kindly for Acton. So Matt Redenton is on now. His first contribution in midfield for Brisbane. And Redenton adding an extra number to midfield with Wenzel Halls withdrawn. Inman pushing further up the pitch. Roux bends one around for Naboot, who fashioned it through the legs of one Brisbane opponent. Deflected out for the throw.
Another great run from Naboot. He's been doing that all night.
Change is coming thick and fast right now. Here comes Leslie Otis for the Victory. And Barnett, who just picked up that caution, is the man withdrawn.
He's done very well tonight, but Barnett will be very proud of his efforts. Leslie Otis on.
Saw him a lot in that right-back role earlier in the campaign, but he's a natural midfielder. And Lesiotis gets the ball here from the right-back in Storm Room. Anderson was settling nicely into that role. And Nishikawa. Anderson again. Nishikawa didn't quite have the angles to work it to Kamsoba. Oh, a couple of handballs. Take your pick against Josh Hope.
Really good defending, but from Brisbane. And that's coming back to that point I made just about after half-time. So that they've got the 5 there at the back, then the 3, then the 2. They're not going silly to close down and to press when they don't have to. There's a signal, obviously. You saw Scott McDonald when the opposition team goes to the side, and then they just close down. It's economical, and it looks so secure. But it's only 1-0. And while it's only 1-0, Melbourne Victory will still think, considering the way they play, they've got a real opportunity here.
Kim, first time ball. Laid off by Inman to no one in particular. Aldred went easy on Andrew Naboot. We've seen a few clattering challenges from behind. That time Aldred backed off on the number 9. He earned his team the free kick. Oh, Lesiotis off the mark. Pass behind Root. Proud club, the Melbourne Victory, but staring down the barrel of 4 straight losses for just the 2nd time in club history. So they can snatch something in the final 15 minutes here. Grant Brebner working his bench after those 3 full days of rest after the tough hit out against Western United here. No changes for Naboot and Rojas. They've got to keep on going. Elvis Kamsoba providing the energy lift in that final third. Broxham, the diminutive one, wasn't the kind of ball he was after from Hope with the layoff. You can see why Warren Moon loves young Kim. Very steady and composed on the ball.
Done really well tonight, Danny Kim.
Back to his feet is Inman, bouncing it off Redenton and using the wide man. Brown, great delivery, and Redenton, the substitute, makes it 2 for Brisbane. Warren Moon ringing the changes, and the milestone man Corey Brown with a delicious delivery in game 100 for the club. That's what Redenton's applauding now.
Absolutely fantastic goal. The play that they work when they go down one side, they always look for the numbers. They've got to do it so well, installed in them. Like I said, under Robbie Fowler, they know the timing. And the one thing that we always accuse Brisbane of, especially early season, was being wasteful. Not this time. Wonderful cross in from Corey Brown. But that was all about the play that they start to construct down the sides. They wait, they're patient. They wait. If no one comes in or in a good position, they will put that cross in. If people come, they'll play around them, or they'll go out to the other side. That was fantastic.
It's a nice way to settle in with your new club. A goal in just his 2nd game, and look what he's done throughout his career. He only had 5 in 103 previous games. So an unexpected goal scorer tonight, Matt Redenton off the bench. Here's Hope, the substitute for the Victory, into a dangerous spot. Neville facing his own goal. And it's out for the throw. Again, the reaction from the Brisbane bench. They're loving life, getting back to nature in the Hawkesbury region of Sydney.
Where's that?
Bunkering down. A good hour and a half or drive at times from the CBD. Richmond way. Here they go again, hunting number 3. Cam Sober able to control. Do they look the fresher team, the sharper team right now, Robbie Slater, Brisbane?
Yep, no doubt about that. They've been excellent in this second half, and you know, Victory have had their moments.
Brown delivers again, and Nishikawa concedes the corner.
And look, I think that back three, they haven't stayed as a back three as they did in that first half. You've seen Aldred push up, Gillespie push up when they've needed to make sure that those Melbourne Victory players like Rojas, Laurie Latanzo when he was on, and of course Naboot don't get that that amount of space they did in between the lines. So they've certainly done that well, and they've controlled the game, and they've looked threatening. And in Scott McDonald, they've had a standout performer. Let's be honest, he's been absolutely superb.
Sniffing around again as O'Shea delivers. Neville kept out by Acton that time. Neville scored with a header last time he was here on New Year's Day to help turn things around against the Wanderers. Inside the final 10 minutes. And the Victory make things interesting as they did the other night from 2-0 down. Applauding the intent of Jack Hingett, who tried to release it first time into space. Around the corner from Hope. Gets it back from Cam Sober, and he wanted someone to push on into that space. Leslie Otis wasn't quite on the same page. So Alex King does the right thing by the Victory. Referee who helps keep the tempo of a game high. Fabulous whistleblower. Tends to make all of the right decisions too. He'll be heavily involved come finals time. Cam Sober, nice little 1-2 with Storm Roux. Brisbane looks so hard to break down, and the Victory players look up and see that 5 and then another 5. There isn't a whole lot of room.
Like I said, many ways to control a game. Obviously, the most obvious way is controlling possession and territory and all that, but you can also control a game from a defensive point of view, and that's what they're doing. They're basically setting up in a way that there's very little space in behind and very little space in between the lines, and like I said, there is a cue, a signal. Usually when it's Scott McDonald, is usually when the opposition go towards the sides, then they close, and they all close.
McDonald chested out towards Hingett. Out off Rojas. This hasn't been his night. It could so easily have been, of course. A couple of openings early on. Storm Roux had his shot tipped onto the crossbar as well by Jamie Young. Looks like keeping another clean sheet tonight, the way this one is going. Here comes Amadi Holloway. Will be for Scott McDonald. No, he's going to stay out there, and Danny Kim will get an ovation from his bench.
And so he should. Be very, very proud of his performance tonight. Started off a little bit on the back foot, as all of Brisbane did. Melbourne Victory was so good. Slowly but surely got into the game. He can be really proud of his performance. Here comes Amadi Holloway now.
What did you make of Danny Kim's performance, Robbie Slater? You played against his dad, who played in a different position, of course. We've lost Robbie Slater, who played against Danny Kim's dad around the turn of the century. Northern Spirit v Marconi. And Kyun, no doubt, watching on proudly after his son's performance this evening.
He should be very proud. He was super.
O'Shea. Amadi Holloway. Last touch off who? Off the Welshman, who's got to sort out his footwear.
There's a difference in terms of what I was talking about with the Melbourne Victory outswingers, how they're either floated or they're hit with the laces and they sort of just glide. You see that was whipped in then by O'Shea. Massive difference.
Naboot, that's a penalty. Well won, expertly won by Andrew Naboot. Aldred didn't expect Naboot to get a touch on it. Once he did, the defender was a sitting duck, and Alex King, I'll tell you what, this young referee did not hesitate. He had a perfect view of it, pointed at the spot.
Really silly. So disappointed. Absolutely cruising.
That's a penalty, Bozza?
Yep.
And great to see a referee who sees a penalty, gives a penalty, knows a penalty. Andrew Naboot to capitalise on his work against Jamie Young. Naboot into the bottom corner with precision, sending the keeper the wrong way. And they're setting up another grandstand finish at this venue, the Victory.
Well, was it 3 days ago? And here's the penalty. Definite penalty. He was just late. Again, when you get to this stage of the game, you get a little bit tired, and that's what it was. No need to challenge there. And Naboot tucks it away. And 3 days ago, they scored in the 81st minute. Melbourne Victory 2-0 down against Western United. Now the 85th. A few nerves, I would have thought, on the Brisbane bench now. No need to be, but there is. They've got to see this through.
Marty Holloway won his flick on. It's the 6th goal this season for Andrew Naboot. McDonald might need his composure down the stretch here. Warren Moon leaving McDonald on. And Marty Holloway, goalkeeper, was a little concerned as that flashed towards his top corner from the most improbable angle. Need a bit of Roberto Carlos outside of the boot swing to be a real threat. Lesiotis finds Naboot again. He played his part in the build-up to that penalty as well, did Lesiotis, with a clever pass. Gets it back here and waits for Rue to chime in. Back to Lesiotis. And they're stroking it around nicely again, the Victory. It's been a feature of their performance this evening. Roxham's pass didn't come off the right part of the boot. Some fatigue in that one. Denton able to turn. Dragged back by Hope, but he let him go just in time to avoid a yellow. Campbell can use Hinger. McDonald, what about his work rate? Turning back the clock, the back heel, sensational. Hingered into the area. So Nishikawa took a risk. Referee says nothing in that one, no penalty. And he says to Jay O'Shea, watch your lip.
I'd like to see that again. From up here, that looked the penalty. No.
We've seen that before, haven't we, Bozza? The other night, very similar to the one that caused great debate. And it looks like the hand is in the back from So Nishikawa. That's what Ingot felt. Went down too easily, according to all and sundry.
I think they thought he clipped him, but just looking at it was very difficult. My gut feeling from looking at it here from the stand originally was penalty, but looking on the replay, it looks as though he just didn't touch him at all.
You don't think the hand?
I was looking down at the feet.
Have a look at the next replay about the hand.
Yeah, but we've spoken about that. Like I said, a nudge is one thing, a shove or a push is another thing whatsoever, but we'll have to have a look at the replay. I've got a feeling after looking for the we're back on here.
Rue's header, Naboot's and wide, and it's out off Brisbane. So Naboot's header was deflected out by Aldred, and that was last-ditch stuff again from the Raw. Here we go, hand of Nishikawa into the side there of Hingert, a very light touch, but
no. Close again. There's a shout again. That was good defending, you have to say, in the end.
Oh, Brebner was climbing for the header, a la Naboot, who has done it in this city before, hasn't he? Turning around a deficit with 2 quick-fire goals, famously in a big blue. Hingett's header. Donachie there, and the offside flag is up.
Interested to hear Robbie Slater's down there by pitch side, what he thought about that penalty incident.
Robbie Slater got his microphone sorted.
I certainly have, yeah. Yeah, look, in real time, I thought it was a pen, and to be fair, in the replay, I thought it was a pen as well. I think he's got him with the. I think he's clipped him. And then the outside of his left boot gets him, but like I've said before, you see here, watch his left, gets him there. I think that gets him. I think it's a pen. For me, Hingett's making no. He's not looking like, if you see from the replay, he's not looking for contact, and I don't think he's looking to dive. I think he clips him. And I saw, because I went straight to Alex King, and he put his whistle. He thought about putting it to his mouth and changed his mind.
Interesting by Hingett. He wasn't really appealing. Was he almost expecting, well, that's just going to be a whistle and a pen?
He expected it, because when he turned around, he couldn't believe it hadn't been given. So anyway, but credit to Victory, eh? They just kept going on. Young boys, a lot of changes again. Definite right decision with the penalty for Naboot, and they're keeping going. It's going to be a nervous finish. Warren Moon looks very worried down here.
4 minutes of stoppage time. Kept away by Naboot. McDonald again. And Amadi Holloway just overran it. Time to regroup, though. And play in Brad Inman. All the way back to O'Shea. I must have thought about the first time finish. Great work rate, Andrew Naboot. We might have a look in a moment at his work rate in the lead up to that penalty as well. His energy levels at the end of this game. Back-to-back 90-minute efforts. Absolutely sensational.
It's been another very good performer for Melbourne Victory. Be no consolation but to the fans of how many good performances they've had. If they lose again, you can understand that. But like you just said before, so many good signs, still going.
Lifted in towards Hope, out comes Young.
Goalkeeping.
Campsober turning, getting the Victory back into the mix again. Hope shielding it away. Lesiotis ignores Nishikawa. Tries to tee one up for Rojas. Campsober, back post, and foul is committed. So let's go back to the penalty. And Andrew Naboot, a lot of players would have maybe stayed out of the mix, but he sensed an opportunity and turned on the afterburners again.
That he did.
Watch this. He gets involved there in the layoff and then surges into the area, and the extra turner speed there is what creates the penalty. At this stage of the game, it's fantastic.
It is, but it's a poor decision by Tommy Aldred. He'll be so disappointed. That's what happens when you get tired.
I think back to the Bert von Marwijk era as well, when he saw the GPS readings of Andrew Naboot. He wanted him in his team. Of course, he played up front at the World Cup. Off the back of Rojas, inadvertently. Naboot, did he handle that? It's play on, and Jamie Young keeps it out of the top corner, perhaps. Was it going wide or going in, I wonder?
It looked to be a super save, but did Naboot handle the ball to put it in his path originally? Either way, top save again from Jamie Young. Nervous moments now for Brisbane Roar. Shouldn't be like this. They'll be thinking themselves on that bench, which should be nice and comfortable. Have a look. Yeah, it's handball.
And a tug of the shirt, and across the face, Jamie Young pouring it away. No VAR in action if you're just tuning into your first A-League action post-lockdown. No VAR until the finals, perhaps. A lot of the fans are actually enjoying no VAR, and they don't want to see it come back come finals time. Clever little dink, Lesiotis. It's a tough ball to execute, and Inman can shepherd it out. Final 30 seconds of the minimum amount of stoppage time elapsing here. Brisbane in no hurry to take the throw. Alex King says, can someone go over there and take it? I might just add on another 15 or 20 seconds. And the Victory get into a scoring position again. There's no time for it. The Brisbane Roar get the win thereafter. Warren Moon, a very happy man indeed, tastes his first success as an A-League coach, and indebted to Scott McDonald with an all-star performance up front amongst the goal scoring. Again, as he's been so often throughout his career, Andrew Naboot pulled one back late from the penalty spot, but Matt Redenton, the Kiwi, in the end, it's his header that proves the winner. And the Roar basically locked in for finals football in 2020. They beat the Victory 2-1 at Bankwest. That's 4 straight defeats for the Victory, and then the second time in club history. But fabulous game of football again. Such entertainment, helter-skelter until the end, and it's Brisbane who get the chocolates.
Yeah, they do, but in the end they had to hang on. But like you said, it really was a really fabulous game of football to watch. It'll be no consolation to Melbourne Victory fans, I suppose, because of the fact that you've lost, but they played so well tonight. Burke and Kerdar, Laurie Latanzio, young Jay Barnett are all excellent. There were others as well, but they lost the game in the end, and you'll talk to their players afterwards and they'll say exactly the same things. Now, there's a lot of things that need to be thought about where they want to go in terms of Melbourne Victory, in terms of as a club, and that will be to do between now and the start of next season. But they can be very proud of their efforts, although, like I said, it'll be no consolation to them. In terms of Brisbane Roar, they hung in there from the start. They played some wonderful stuff, scored an absolutely fantastic goal, and they're going to be right in the mix come finals time.
Let's get some reaction now. Down to Tara.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Brenton Speed. I'm now joined by Scotty McDonald, one of the goal scorers tonight. Scotty, that must be a fantastic result. Must be relieved with that.
Absolutely. You know, really disappointed with that first result that we got against Adelaide. We started the game really slowly, finished it well, so we had a lot of positives going into the game, but it was crucial to get 3 points. Obviously, you see other teams playing a lot of games at the moment. We haven't got many, so it's nice to get that little buffer again, and first win for the new manager as well, which is always important. So keeps the mood in the camp very well, obviously being in that hotel as well, so tomorrow's going to be a good day.
And Scotty, a really competitive game. First half was quite even.
Yeah.
Victory probably had maybe the middle part of that first half where they were on top, but you come out in the second half and controlled it largely.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. We didn't control the game first half. I think we were a bit disappointed with that. Conditions as well, it was a bit slick out there at times, but yeah, I thought, you know, Melbourne Victory gave as good as they got in the first half, but like you said, controlled the second half, get in front, get 2-0 up, and then we make it hard for ourselves with that one at the end, but we've seen it out, so that was the main thing.
How's the weather?
Brilliant,
it's nice, huh?
This suits us.
You like this kind of weather?
Hey, they said all the Brits would suffer in the heat, so we've got the cold now, so no complaints.
And what about the header? Talk us through that.
Do you know what? It's just one of them, and it's instinct more than anything. You've been doing it for years, try and get across your marker. I thought the chance had gone, obviously, when Brad has actually come back. But it's a lovely ball with the outside of his foot, isn't it? You know, and all you can do is just try and get as much on it, and lucky I got a thick enough head on it.
Well, you did incredibly well. Looking at the table and where you're sitting at the moment, you've got Wellington Phoenix next and then Sydney FC. Is there the hope that you could potentially push into the top 2?
Well, it's great markers for us, isn't it? The best 2 teams you would probably have to say on merit this season so far. So we'll see how we get on. But we gave as good as we've got against them too, you know, in recent games as well. So we go in it full of confidence, and you know, we fully believe we're as good as anyone in this league. And when we control games like we did in the second half, you know, we're a real threat.
And quickly, how's life under Warren Moon?
It's great. You know, I think for most clubs, they're probably disappointed to be away from families and whatnot, but I think it's good for us when you have a new manager to get in-house and get everyone together. He can see, obviously, the personalities as well and work with them, and it's been great to, you know, get a good few days' work underneath the new manager. So all was happy right now.
Heard you've got some good coffee boys as well.
Oh, I know, they're unbelievable.
Scotty,
that Bristol course has taken off.
Daniel
Thank you,
Bowles
PFA.
as well.
Yeah, well, they're doing a great job. They're keeping the boys going, and there is a buzz about the place.
Mate, super game. You had a
Scotty, thanks so much for joining us.
Really good game tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers,
Fantastic. Yeah, great to hear from Scotty McDonald there. We're now joined by Matt Rydenton and Corey Brown. Fantastic. You've got the 100th gamer and the second gamer for Brisbane Roar. A nice little combo for the both of you. Please, you go first.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's only my second game, but yeah, big milestone for Brownie, and to give him an assist is pretty good.
Yeah, super cross. And Matthew, you come off the bench, of course. How important is that goal for you when you start on the bench, you come on? You've obviously prepared in the right way. It was a super header.
Yeah, no, I think